Time is running out on Kentucky lawmakers to pass bills and make any changes. We'll take you to Frankfort.
And sunshine continues tomorrow, but rain is in that 7-day forecast. I'll have those details right now at 4:30.
Crews continue working to get power restored for thousands of eastern Kentuckians. At last check, more than 22,000 Kentucky Power customers were still without electricity, but that is down from more than 60,000 right after the windstorm Sunday night. WYMT's Madison program has more on how the city of Hazard and Perry County officials are lending a hand during this time.
Extending a helping hand to those helping us in our time of need.
We're asking if there was something we could do to help with the crews that were coming in. And they called me last night and said yes. They said we're going to feed box lunches to all the crews that's in.
Local officials helping pass out meals to workers trying to restore power to eastern Kentuckians.
And there's supposed to be around 500-600 people, I think.
Greg Spartman with Kentucky Power says they face a big task.
We have just, major damage. It's we're probably so far close to 100 broke poles.
But it is the little things like this that help them get closer to completing it.
As we know, the many restaurants is closed. We try to give them a good lunch.
And it seems to be a common theme.
They're excellent support. They support us, we support them.
And the community's really got together all across.
People helping people.
It's just another challenge, and it's something that we can handle.
Through the hard times that so many are experiencing. In Perry County, Madison Program, WYMT Mountain News.
4 food sites are set up for these workers, 2 in Perry County and 2 in Letcher County. The clock is ticking for power crews to get the power back on in hard-hit counties. They have their work cut out for them. Kentucky Power reports hundreds of poles and lines that need to be replaced. Meanwhile, thousands remain in the dark. Here's a look at the latest outage map. Perry and Pike counties were the hardest hit areas. However, Knott and Letcher counties were also impacted significantly. Those 2 counties, along with Leslie, at the last update, had more than 4,000 people without power. With so many of you struggling not only from the pandemic, but also from that windstorm, one organization is helping out across the mountains. WYMT's Willie Hope gives us a look at why Saving the Children sent games, water, and Instapots to the mountains.
After storms hit eastern Kentucky hard on Sunday night, organizations took to the streets to help those in need. And today at East Perry, Save the Children KY did the same, lending a helping hand to thousands without power in Perry County. The organization is one of many who are stepping in to provide help with power outages around the region. Save the Children aims to provide the essentials for those in need and keep their food from expiring until the power comes back.
We found out yesterday that there was a need for water, ice, other essentials. So we've reached out to national donors, some other people, ice companies in Corbin who have given us discounted rates, loaned us their truck for the day to keep the ice cold so families can have that when they come through, so that the food that they do have in store at home won't go bad.
Lakes also added that they are taking precautions still with COVID-19. Many of the volunteers were wearing masks and gloves to protect themselves. Still, she added that even in these difficult times with the virus, Save the Children will still work to provide for families and children around the Commonwealth, with thousands still without power. From Perry County, Willie Hope, WYMT Mountain News.
Meanwhile, WYMT is teaming up with God's Pantry Food Bank and others to host a virtual food drive. During the COVID-19 crisis, we are having to change the way we usually do things. And while collecting food is not the safest way, we can still work to help those who are food insecure by going virtual. We have the link to the donation page on our website at WYMT.com.
Well, after a cold night, we saw that sunshine return. Temperature's still a little bit on the chilly side out there, but we are seeing plenty of sunshine. We'll go ahead and take you up to our UVA WISE camera where you can see those beautiful blue skies. We started out with clouds earlier today, but really throughout the past few hours, it has just been absolutely gorgeous. Interstate 75 into Mount Vernon, quiet over there and seeing maybe just a stray cloud or two, but still on the nice side. Low to mid 50s for a lot of us. Of course, a little bit warmer down into the Cumberland Valley. 55 in Williamsburg, 54 in Middlesboro, 53 though up into Prestonsburg. We do have a freeze warning out. That's the dark purple for really the majority of our area. That goes until 9 a.m. on your Thursday. Then we have that frost advisory for a few of our counties down into the deep Cumberland Valley. That also goes until 9 a.m. on your Thursday. Most of us will drop into those lower 30s. Some spots could be into the upper 20s tonight. It's going to be frosty. It's going to be another cold one, so leave the water dripping and make sure to bring those pets inside, and if or the pets inside, of course, the plants as well. And if you are still without power, just make sure to bundle up tonight, and I promise we have some warmer weather on the way. I'll have those details coming up in a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you. Kentucky lawmakers are working to wrap up the 2020 legislative session. They continued to vote to override vetoes issued by the governor and considered a COVID-19 relief bill. But some lawmakers have also been critical of the decisions made by the governor. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what happened today at the state capitol.
Members voting remotely, please transmit your votes.
A nearly empty House chamber on the last day of the 2020 legislative session.
Have all members voted?
Representatives voting remotely in the House first taking up gubernatorial vetoes.
The governor cites that this language severely undercuts his flexibility, particularly at a time when states need to react to federal funds that may come into the state due to the coronavirus issue.
Please rise for the...
Much of what was said in both the House and Senate dealt with the current pandemic.
I want to ask the governor and the executive branch to take another look at the policies regarding these nursing homes.
In fact, several in the Republican-led Senate were critical of some of the Democratic governor's actions during the last few weeks.
There is one group of providers that is not being responsible.
Senator Ralph Alvarado questioned why a Louisville abortion clinic remained open while other health care providers were told to cancel their elective procedures.
However, the governor's rules don't appear to apply to EMW Clinic. They continue to perform elective medical procedures in Kentucky at the abortion clinics on a daily basis. In fact, they've been seeing between 18 and 22 women every day.
Lawmakers were also considering a bill that could provide some relief for businesses deemed not essential by the governor, using guidelines from a professional licensing board. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Kentucky lawmakers must adjourn by midnight tonight in accordance to the Kentucky Constitution. A federal lawsuit has been filed against Governor Beshear, claiming that orders aimed at stopping the spread of COVID-19 violate religious freedoms. The suit was filed yesterday by 3 people who say they received quarantine orders after attending Easter service at a Bullitt County church. Boone County Attorney Robert Neese and Acting Health and Family Services Secretary Eric Friedlander are also named in that suit. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron wants people to be on the lookout for COVID-19 related scams. He says these scams target people on Medicaid. Scammers may try to illegally bill Medicaid for COVID-19 related treatments. He reminds people only to get care from licensed health care providers if they have symptoms. He also encourages anyone who thinks they may be a victim of fraud to call 1-877-ABUSE-TIP. It will be even longer before non-emergency court cases take place in person here in Kentucky. The state Supreme Court extended a suspension on those cases to June 1st. Judges want to be clear, they are still working though. Emergency cases, things like bond hearings and arraignments, are still being done through video calls. However, they worry about a backlog when courthouses do reopen.
I think it's possible to do a slow reintroduction, especially with maybe some of the civil cases, and maybe you limit how many people you allow into the courthouse at a time. Previously, we were already limiting how many people we let into the courtroom at a time. Maybe we schedule cases one at a time, and so that you don't have, folks kind of overlapping.
This is actually the second time the Kentucky Supreme Court has extended the order. Courtrooms were originally scheduled to reopen on April 10th. More than 27,000 Americans have now died from COVID-19. New York City has more than 10,000 deaths after city health officials revised its count to include patients who died before getting tested but who displayed coronavirus symptoms. Nursing homes are also feeling the brunt of the pandemic. Canterbury Rehabilitation and Healthcare Center in Richmond, Virginia has now lost 45 residents. The World Health Organization and others are pushing back against President Trump's decision to halt funding to the agency right in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. The battle comes as the federal government continues to weigh how and when to begin reopening the country. The Washington Post obtained a draft proposal of CDC and FEMA guidance for state and local governments. The agencies are recommending that first, there's confidence that infection rates are genuinely low, and the health system has the capacity to handle a surge of cases. And there needs to be a well-functioning system to test and trace patients.
They're diagnosed and then they're isolated and then their contacts are traced. That's going to be fundamental. This outbreak got beyond containment this time. We need to get it back, so the containment's an important part of our overall strategy.
Some Americans have started seeing government relief checks from last month's $2.2 trillion stimulus package. The one-time payments are designed to be a lifeline for tens of millions feeling the financial strain of the virus. Coming up on Mountain News at 4:30, keeping your elderly family members safe during this time requires social distancing, but you should also keep an eye on their bank accounts. Hear how as we watch your wallet.
And we'll see more sunshine heading into the next couple of days. We'll add in a few scattered rain chances, and temperatures will start to be on the warming trend. I'll have those details coming up.